Alright, we're going to be replacing a Honda fourtrax 300 steering shaft bushing. You can see it in here. It's tore. You can see it just breaking off. So we're going to take this bolt out. We're going to put this one in. The round end goes down or whatever. And we're going to throw some grease inside of here. Get it nice and greased up. And then we'll slide it in there, and this peels apart. Well, it's got a slit in it, so you can just push it over the shaft, and it will actually tighten up my steering. So it's loose right now because it's up in the air. I've got no front end on it, but if I can find a video of how loose it was before, I'll put it in the video. But if I can't, just know it was bad. All right, let's get to it. All right, the only tools you're gonna need is a flathead, a ratchet with a 12mm socket on it, so you can get that bolt off. Some grease. I got mine in a grease gun, and then a rag to wipe your finger off when you get done lubing up this bushing or whatever. Now you can use a glove and put it on or whatever, throw the glove away, but I'm not doing that. I'm just using a towel. So let's get this bolt off, and then I'll show you guys me getting the bushing off. And the only reason I'm using a screwdriver is just in case I got to pry stuff or whatever. So you don't probably necessarily need this, but it probably will come in handy putting it on and taking that one, the old one, off. So yeah. All right, so as you can see, that one's, it's shot out. Now I don't know if I mentioned this, but there's a bolt on this side and that side. I took the bolt out on this side, and I took this one out and left it loose, so there's just a couple threads in there now, just to get it loose or whatnot, so I can get this one out, which I'm gonna get a screwdriver in there and just start prying away at it, because I tried moving it with my hands, but it just ain't going nowhere. So we're just gonna, there we go. Alright, I gotta put the camera down to get two hands in here. Alright, you can see it's out. Obviously it's not good because it literally broke right in half when I started prying out the screwdriver. If you have any up and down movement with those bolts on, without even taking this apart first, and this has got up and down movement, it means your bushing is gone. So just check it. If you have any side to side play and your tires aren't moving, that's also bad too. Obviously I have side to side movement right now because I have nothing on here. Literally we're empty down here. So I'm waiting on new ball joints and tie rod ends. That's why that's all tore apart. But maybe I'll make a video on putting those back together. But let's get this greased up and put that in there, and should be mint. Alright, you can see I've got that all greased up now. Nice and greased up. We're gonna open this up. This side right here, you can see it's cut. I didn't cut it. It comes cut like that. It comes split, so you can open it up and put it over the shaft. But let's do this and then tighten it up. We'll be mint. I just used I think it's just high temp, like grease or whatever. It doesn't have to be high temp. It can be literally whatever, just multi-purpose grease or whatever. You're just putting the grease on there so it moves easier in there, because once you get water or mud in there, you know what I mean. All right, so I had the bolt on that side a little too loose, and I was trying to mess with it. The actual bracket fell out with the bolt. Okay, well, there goes the bolt. Anyways, so I just took the thing out. There was a little bit of grease on there. I just wiped it off, and I just put more grease on it. Too much grease isn't gonna hurt. But now you can see what I'm working with. I gotta put this bracket back in there, and then put the bushing back in there. She'll be mint. Oh yeah, one more thing. The flat side goes up and round side goes down. It actually just says it on this bushing. I don't know about other bushings, but the flat side goes up, the round side goes down, just to let you know. All right, bushing's in, flat sides up, like I said before. As you can see, it sits right on top of the groove of these brackets or whatever. Yeah, putting grease on this side was, I mean, maybe a little overkill, but I had grease on there before, so I put more on there, and I also put a little bit around the outside of the actual bushing itself before I put it in there. But now I just got to tighten these bolts up on both sides, and then of course I don't have wheels on right now, and it's not on the ground, so I can't really tell how stiff it's going to be, but just tighten these up, tighten this bracket up like accordingly, see how stiff you want your steering or how loose you want it. Loose is probably the worst, but tight is right. So it's all up to you at this point, how tight you want your bracket and whatnot, but make sure these bolts are in though, because you don't want them falling off going down the trail or whatever the case may be, and then you got a sloppy steering. So make sure that's all intact and make sure it's nice and tight, and then yeah, do what you got to do. And that's about it, how you install one of those bushings. Again, just a ratchet, a 12 mil, short 12 mil, flathead, and some grease. Put a grease around the bushing and whatnot, and you're mint.